Hey guys, today is about how you are source and then here fragmented into infinite peoples, then also quantum immortality, and let's see how everything works, yeah? So first of all, you are infinite potentiality of infinite oneself that is manifested as an infinite screen. The screen works in a way that it has a construct and subconstructs. So you're looking at the screen right now where you are seeing apparently me on the screen, but this is a application that you're running on the operating system of your phone, and then there is the internet that is streamlining this transmission. So it's all system within a system within a system, it's all packed up. In the same way, you are right now the infinite screen manifestation of the one self that in itself holds a cosmic construct, and then in itself holds the construct of your individuality, in which you have a body, and now you can walk around the world and experience many things, and it's very complicated. Or it can get very, very complicated. Now, the world here is teaching you so many things, and you will be exploring layer by layer of this construct. They're all nested sets, a construct within a construct. So you have to find your ground, you have to find your stability, you have to find your mastery over at least one layer of your reality before you can connect that stably into the next layer. Okay. So we're talking about you learning how to walk first, okay, and then chakra by chakra you're opening the next layer until you connect all the layers all the way up to where it all started. So there's a manifestation of the infinite screen, of infinite light, or that we call also source. So this source is manifesting all the constructs of reality, and then you are playing and you want to build coherency or coherence between the layers. Now, if you have coherency through your spinal column and above, then you can manifest godlike attributes, or sort of like siddhas or superpowers, because they will be in your nature. Okay, this is a superpower from a lower construct standpoint, because if you are caught up in a lower construct and still haven't figured out how to walk, somebody driving a car might seem like, oh, my dad is a hero. they drive a car, okay, I'm just like a toddler that's barely walking. Now, for somebody who's driving a car, that becomes second nature, because it's just natural for the process of the driving to do itself once the individuality is accustomed to the process, okay? So in the same way, all the processes or powers are actually manifestations of nature of this reality. Once you understand the nature and you are able to exist within the nature of a higher level of reality, then the manifestation of that level of reality becomes your nature. For example, we talk about manifestation a lot today in this civilization and culture. Manifestation simply means that you create a feeling inside of yourself, and you project an image from your mind, and this feeling is the I am feeling that then becomes the projector of the image, and then the image becomes the timeline of your physical experience. So how you are doing this is not on a physical level of reality, because you don't have to actually engage with touching, licking, smelling, building something brick and mortar, but you can project something from the I am, the envisioned reality becomes reality. So this is you working. So now some people call this like 4D or 5D or 6D, and it's really just coherence between the levels of the 3D, 4D, 5D, 6D, etc. Right? But this all is empowered from the 1D, or like the first screen, which is just space and energy. Okay, we don't have to go into this science, because the nomenclature of this is not really defined in our language, and people are just throwing different nomenclature around. And if you go to a system like yoga or Buddhism or something like this, there will be a different nomenclature that they were using according to their culture. Okay, but it's all the same system that people were describing before that we're using now, so there can be many interpretations. But to make it easier to understand, imagine there is a string going right through the middle of you, a vertical string. This vertical string is connected to all dimensions of reality. All dimensions of reality are manifested through the expansion of space and energy through this center line. Okay, so this will be your vertical, your top to bottom connection. Now, through the densities, your string can oscillate. So your awareness and energy, they can become distorted. The string can become distorted on different layers. And so when you do Kriya Yoga, you're harmonizing the layers, because Kriya goes through you in a way that creates coherence on all the layers. So it's not just a physical or mental Kriya, it is top to bottom. Kriya Yoga is top to bottom coherence or harmonization or alignment. So when your string becomes completely fine-tuned, that you can explore your resonance in the field with all dimensions in coherence, and then bring them back into this singularity, then you are working with yourself top to bottom. Human and source are connected together. Usually we would call this now raising your vibration. This is how people talk about it. Raise your vibration. So raising your vibration is not a very precise nomenclature, okay? But actually it's pointing to that you can vibrate higher, because you are also vibrating with, like, aligning your spinal column and then aligning yourself through the string, or this called Sushumna Nadi in yoga. Then you are actually also vibrating on all vibrations coherently. So there's a and there's a okay. So singularity is a very high vibration. It is the cessation of actually separation, because to have amplitude vibration, you have to have rhythm. So you have to have already separation of the white light into some other color. All the way in the white light is the vibration is only bliss or complete unity, and in the absence of light, which is complete darkness, it's still unity. It is only the emptiness, or how to call this, unity, which is presented as space without light, which is then dark matter or dark energy, to be more precise, which is also just full of self, which is also singular. So self is self without shape or form or space, and then self has these two states that are just infinite yin and infinite yang. These two states are interchangeable on the baseline level of reality, the absolute yin and the absolute yang. So you could also be so you're either going for the emptiness or going for the fullness. You're reaching the same destination. Okay, so how to then harmonize your string so you can have actually the oscillation between the emptiness and the fullness is something that grants you that then the will of your individual self is actually manifested as the will of God in and it will reverberate through all levels of reality, meaning that just your emotion, your intention to for anything is going to be God working on every level of reality and bring that into manifestation on this physical level and on every other level coherently. It's like the ultimate manifestation. So first of all, you have to exist in a state of non-duality, in a state of complete coherence. And here's something, we are in a very complex reality system. So as humans, we say we're never perfect. Okay, we have this Christos. Okay, the Christos is the complete alignment of you. And then when you're manifesting your individual will inside of this duality experience, you're probably distorting this light ideal. So we're all succumbing to one or other form of imperfection because, hey, we're just curious and we want to touch, lick, and smell everything. So we get into also mental activities that are then wrong assumptions and distortions, which our logic can create, which can sound logical, but then they are not aligned with the nature of the God self, which is Christos, which is your harmonic ideal. You see? So when you want to raise your vibration, you need to align with your harmonic ideal. The harmonic ideal, the Christos, is there all the time. It's just higher vibratory state than the physical dimension. So the coming into harmonization with your light body, with your Christos, with your cosmic ideal self, comes and feels like a purge to the human, to the animal, to these operating systems of lower dimensions, because they will be purged through the oscillatory rate of the element of fire. You know, this is like they say, the Christ baptize you by fire, because then the oscillation on a quantum level will actually defragment your tissue, and it will cause like a cellular detox, and it will cause energetic defragmentation of your karmic energetic memory, and will purify you, basically purify you. So to do this is really, I'm going to give you something very useful, and me being human also, and at the same time having this constant thinking, every daily thinking with this, the most optimal, the most harmonized light version of self, which is the cosmic man, or the Christos, or the spirit of the spirit of light. That is the blueprint for the human being. Okay, so Christos is not a person; it's like a blueprint for the human being. Okay, and to align yourself, it might feel uncomfortable if you do not do it on the regular. Okay, because then our human is being then fascinated with the things of the world and the logics of the world, and then we're falling into different kind of distortions. So it's everything is then important. Sometimes fasting from information, fasting from foods that are toxic and need a lot of time for your body to transmute the toxin or whatever. So fasting in general, activates then that you are returning back to your light blueprint. And if you see the culture of the beast, which is not necessarily something like good, bad, evil, good or evil, but over dominance of the beast, which is just eat and get more, then becomes we are growing, right? So growing the muscle, eating the chickens and growing the mass more and more and more, just becoming just the biggest possible demon that can acquire more muscle, more car, more money, more everything, more. So this can be imbalanced or this can be balanced. Okay, because you can be getting everything, eating everything from the heart, always enough there to go for everyone. There needs to be no competition at dog eat dog. When people are imbalanced toward the black hole that devours the forms that are not aligned, then we get into this circle, and we're going into lower and lower and lower circle of what's called hell, because it's more and more push and pull, more and more dog eat dog, more and more entropy, where people are entropic, so we're just trying to take from one another, right? There can be also imbalance toward the light, where, let's say, you might be too giving without boundaries, so not necessarily also doing things from the heart, but from some kind of spiritual ideal, which then becomes also a distortion. So where you need to then begin gaining balance and resetting the distortion is the self. The self that is the baseline, that is transcendent even of any reality, any distortion, is the finest way to fine-tune all of your systems, all of the dimensions, and create coherence and harmony throughout dimensions. With the self, there is this very easy way to actually find alignment. So I'll tell you two things. First thing, you, in your innermost self, you can choose any filter, any vibrational filter to put on the reality. So you can say, in my human experience, I'm experiencing pain and frustration, and it really, really hurts. I choose to filter that, the self, the I am, choose to filter that through, like, it's silly, it's funny, I love it. And all of a sudden, you are choosing the filter through which you observe the crystallization of reality and the subsequent distortion that led your human animal body vehicle into pain. But when you do it like this, the pain will dissipate, because you're choosing to go into the self. And then the first filter you apply to reality, the self is transcendent of reality. The first filter then you apply to reality is like, this is silly and I love it. Now you can go through any type of transformation, defragmentation, detoxification, healing, whatever, with a smile. But it's hard for you to stay in the point of the true self, in the 0 point of the true self. And then with the filter applied of, hey, this is Mr. Smiley Face, okay, it's hard for you to stay there if you have pain, if you are in the storm, okay, how to stay in the eye of the storm, because the storm wants to pull you, and you have already been hooked into different layers, different mental levers, hooks, everything that connects you. You have to take your energy back, so you need to remain centered in this eye of the storm. So imagine yourself being in a freaking storm of swords and shurikens and all the things that hurt your body. Now when you know how to stay with the self, no weapon prospers against you, because from 0 point you are directing your timeline. So nobody else can actually harm you, but you have already been hooked onto harm. You have already been hooked into false logic. You have already been hooked into distortion. So penance is like taking your energy back. Your body goes through this, like your emotion, your mind goes through neurosis, your emotion goes through anxiety, your body goes through pain. See? But then you don't have to experience this in this way, because you can experience this as your higher self, as your Christos self, as your light self, if you understand that you can anchor yourself in the 0 point and choose the first filter of reality, that you are alright, that you are transcendent, that you are forgiven, that everything is fine. Now staying with that is kind of hard if you haven't anchored, if you haven't understood this that I'm transmitting, and then decided that you're going to anchor in this type of meditation where you're going to find your center self, your nucleus, okay, your Christ seed, and then stay there until everything else in your reality is automatically harmonized, automatically fixed, right? Because your mind can fix it, your animal can fix it, your lower mind can fix it, you can't fix it, there's nothing to fix, everything is perfect, it's a divine video game. You just need to undergo purification, and that feels like penance, or it feels like a little bit intense if your ego wants to drive the car. If you still think that you have to like go and take care of everything, if you're still attached to, you have to let everything go. Understand that all of this is a holographic simulation, that you do not exist actually. So that's very liberating, that you can stay in this. But from the place where you do not exist and you are seeing this dream, how are you going to interpret this dream? Because it's possible to be serious, that fucking serious, Saturn, or it's possible to be just okay. You know what? I'm that fucking serious, but no. The king and the fool, they're meeting in the 0 point. So the fool is not bothered, and the fool is liberated, and the king is choosing what needs to be done. So you're choosing your 0 point, and imagine this: if I told you, okay, you know what, all of your problems can be fixed in a way that's more efficient and way faster than whatever you're trying to do to heal yourself, to get your money, to what to like take care of your self, to take care of your family, your friends, whatever you want to do for the world, whatever is your mission, your passion, your objective, everything can be done in an effortless way. And this way is the universe is doing it with you and for you, and you just have to play. Before you enter that state of flow, you just need to pick a point and connect to the point, connect your awareness into the point so hard, then the storm cannot disturb you. So you're becoming centered in the eye of the storm. This way, okay, is the way that will give you the best results in everything that you do, and it does not matter how other things come into alignment or how they happen, because there's infinite intelligence working. The infinite intelligence will work it out. So how long can you stay fixed to a point if you understand that whatever you desire will come from the point, because everything was extrapolated from the point to begin with, right? So you have infinite magic between your fingertips, and you can do this type of mudra, or you can localize, where do you feel your 0 point center? Is it here? Is it there? Is it here? You can bring it into your heart. If it's here, you can bring it into your heart. If it's here, you can bring it into your heart. If it's downstairs or here or outside of you, you can bring it back into your heart. You can hold it there. Now when you hold it there, you can invoke from this point, and that means a request by your will, that I am becomes at peace, calm, or jolly, or fucking grateful, or whatever do you want. So now you need to mood board the first layers from the 0, that you are feeling supreme state of relaxation and peace, and that whatever needs to be harmonized, purified, is going to feel effortless for you. And now you're healing, now your processes, now your businesses even are being manifested automatically, because already you're shooting out will into this reality. And the whole thing is that we don't get detached from something when we shoot it out, but we interpret it too much with our logic, with our intellects, and then we become attached. And everybody said that attachment to desire is the root of all suffering, because we think that our mind is something that is going to give us strategy, the cunningness. But this is actually a distortion, because you only need the heart to desire something, and it's already created. So the cunningness of the mind is a compensation for where we have lost the heart, basically, where we have lost connection to just enjoyment, love. Okay, and then this compensation becomes it fractalizes into like infinite strategies, and this is in Christianity, like in an Orthodox Christianity, this is called the devil. This is called sin, overcomplication. So the solution to everything is really simple. You just need to like drop this and come into this, and then wait it out, and then look at your life, just like solve it, right? And then you're actually going to come into this flow where this higher frequency resonance is going to just bring you all kind of opportunities and everything that you need. And it's effortless for you because you have created this infinite divine theater so that you can play with it. Okay? And when you get lost in a play, you also created this transmission so you can like get yourself back into the game. So enjoy playing the game of life. I'll see you around.